The air above Eldoria crackled with untamed ether, a constant, shimmering haze that spoke of centuries of raw magic woven into the very fabric of the land. In the heart of the capital, Lumina, the grand Arcanum towered, its obsidian spires piercing the perpetually twilight sky. Within its hallowed, spell-infused halls, Elara Meadowlight, a mage whose silver hair flowed like moonlight and whose eyes held the wisdom of ancient constellations, felt a tremor. Not of the earth, but of magic itself, a disharmonious thrum that whispered of encroaching shadow. For weeks, a creeping blight had infected the ley lines, stealing the vibrant hues from the enchanted forests and leaving the magical springs sluggish and gray. The common folk, reliant on arcane wellsprings for light and warmth, grew cold and afraid, their faces etched with a fear that even the most potent healing spells couldn't soothe. The Arch-Council, steeped in tradition and fear, had dismissed Elara's warnings, preferring to attribute the weakening magic to natural cycles. But Elara knew better. Her connection to the ether was too profound, too intrinsic, to be mistaken. Her suspicions solidified when Kaelan Stonehand, a gruff but loyal earth elementalist whose calloused hands could shape granite and coax life from barren rock, burst into her private observatory. His usually stoic face was contorted with alarm.
Lady Elara. The heartwood is dying. Its ancient wards. They're fracturing like ice.
The heartwood, the colossal, sentient tree at Eldoria's spiritual core, was the nexus of the kingdom's most powerful protective spells. Its demise would leave Eldoria vulnerable. Elara knew then that the blight was no natural phenomenon. It was an insidious, calculated assault.
We must go, Kaelan.
Elara commanded, her voice a low hum of determination.
To the sunken city of Lyra.
Kaelan hesitated, his brow furrowing.
But, Lady, Lyra is forbidden. Lost to the abyss after the great sundering. No living soul has ever returned.
Precisely.
Elara replied, a grin set to her lips.
Because the blight's signature matches the forbidden enchantments of Morwen, the obsidian sorceress.
Morwen, a name whispered only in hushed tones, was a legendary figure of Eldoria's dark past, believed to have perished centuries ago in a cataclysm of her own making. Her magic was a corrupting force, a drain on the lifeblood of the land.
Only she possessed the knowledge to weave such a spell, and only there, amidst her ruined power, can we find the counterspell?
Their journey was a perilous dance of spell and shadow. They navigated the glimmering fens, where boglights tried to lure them into bottomless quagmires, Elara's protective wards flaring like miniature suns. They traversed the whispering peaks, where vengeful air elementals shrieked their displeasure, only to be calmed by Kaelan's resonant earth magic. Each step deepened Elara's resolve, but also her weariness. The magical blight was palpable, a chilling dampness in the air, a drain on her own reserves. Finally, they reached the gaping maw of the abyss, a swirling vortex of black mist that led to Lyra. The descent was a dizzying plunge into silence and oppressive darkness. When their boots finally touched the crumbled streets of Lyra, the air was thick with the dust of ages and the lingering scent of ancient, malevolent magic. Buildings, once grand, lay in skeletal ruins, choked by tendrils of shadowy energy. The very ground seemed to sigh with forgotten sorrows. At the heart of the city, amidst the decaying grandeur of what must have been Morwen's citadel, they found it, a shimmering, pulsating ether sink, its tendrils drinking greedily from the ley lines above. It was an abominable construct, pulsing with the stolen life of Eldoria. And guarding it, a grotesque abyssal guardian, a construct of warped stone and crackling shadow, its multifaceted eyes glowing with cold, malicious intent.
Stand back, Kaelan.
Elara shouted, her voice echoing in the oppressive silence. She raised her hands, and twin torrents of pure arcane energy erupted from her palms, striking the creature. The guardian roared, a sound that vibrated through their bones, and retaliated with blasts of corrosive shadow fire. Elara weaved and dodged, her movements fluid and impossibly fast, a blur of silver and light. Kaelan, seeing her struggle, slammed his fists into the ground. Earth cracked and groaned, and colossal stone golems ripped themselves from the ruins, lumbering forward to engage the guardian. The ground trembled with their impact, and the clash of stone on shadow flesh filled the air. While Kaelan held the line, Elara focused on the ether sink. She had to dismantle it from within, to reverse the flow. Drawing upon every ounce of her remaining strength, she chanted, her voice rising in a complex tapestry of ancient incantations. Runes flared on her skin, blazing with sapphire light. With a final, desperate surge, she unleashed a wave of purifying magic, a blinding cascade of white and gold that slammed into the ether sink. The abyssal guardian shrieked, its form dissolving into smoke and ash as the ether sink shuddered violently. A colossal implosion ripped through the citadel, a vortex of light and shadow, and then silence. When the dust settled, the ruins of Lyra seemed less oppressive. A faint, ethereal glow began to emanate from the ground, the first stirrings of recovering magic. Elara, utterly drained, leaned heavily on Kaelin, who had emerged from the battle with a few new scrapes but a triumphant grin.
It's done, Lady Elara,
he rasped, helping her stand.
The blight. It's broken.
Back in Eldoria, the change was instantaneous. The glimmering fens regained their vibrant luminescence, the magical springs surged with renewed vigor, and the heartwood pulsed with a deep, resonant hum of health. The fear that had gripped the common folk began to recede, replaced by a quiet sense of hope. The Arch-Council, humbled by Elara's foresight and courage, finally acknowledged the true nature of the threat. Elara, though weary, felt a profound sense of peace. The balance had been restored. But as she gazed upon the rekindled magic of Eldoria, she knew this was just one battle in a ceaseless war. The shadow of Morwen, though banished, was a reminder that even the deepest magic could be corrupted. And as long as there was light, there would always be those who sought to extinguish it.